Hi, I'm Scoot, and welcome to the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. I hope you have become a subscriber. If you have not, it's free. Just subscribe, and we're supposed to give you a notice every time we go live and do something. But I appreciate you being with me. There's a place to comment here if you want to comment while we're on live here. Don't forget tomorrow night we're going to take a break from all the BS we have to deal with and all the tension in the world by doing another 80s night live from my apartment in downtown New Orleans. And that will be live just after 9 o'clock on the Scoot on the Air Instagram account. So join me, Scoot on the Air Instagram tomorrow, just about 9 o'clock. I want to let you know also that I'm still having some problems with Facebook and my computer. There's something in my computer that's not allowing me to do certain things. So I apologize if you've sent me a message on Facebook and I haven't responded. It's because I can't get your messages right now. So I'm trying to figure out what the issue is, and it's not easy to figure it out. But the best way to reach me right now is Instagram, Scoot on the Air. And if you don't have Instagram, just download the app. It's real simple. Instagram.com. Just download the Instagram app. And then I think you put in a username and a password, and that's it. And it's free. And really, if you're not doing anything on Instagram yet, it's a really great way for us to stay close and for us to communicate. So if you haven't done it yet, I hope you'll join me on Instagram, Scoot on the Air. Also, I want to remind you that I'm going to be sending out a check to a charity probably every month, but I have Scoot on the Air with the official SOTA logo on it, coffee mugs for sale on my website, which is Scoot on the Air. Imagine that. And 100% of the proceeds are going to a charity. And I've narrowed it down to a couple. I want to find the right charity to where the money's going to go to help somebody right away. And I don't want to pick a charity that, has a big staff and executives, and not that there's anything wrong with those charities, but I'm not going to be able to, I'm not going to generate that much income through the sale of these mugs. So I just wanted to go to a place where it helps right away. Here's a comment from Cajun Queen Fitness. Hey, Scoot, miss you. I've been working too much. Hey, I'm glad you're working. But if you miss me, I miss you. I miss you not being there. Also, I do a radio talk show on WWL in New Orleans. It's 870 AM, 105.3 FM for New Orleans and the Gulf Coast, Gulf South. But you could also pick me up anywhere on radio.com. Download the app radio.com, type in WWL, and I'm on the air 1 to 4 New Orleans time. That's Central Time, 1 to 4 Central Time, every afternoon. And it's politics and pop culture and your opinions. So, a lot of people who meet me, they'll say, I so respect what you do. I could never do what you do. Well, maybe not, but I want you to know this. I respect what most of you do. And I couldn't do what most of you do. So I'm in awe of you. One of the tough things about being a talk show host and doing it the way I do it is you have to be acceptable to the idea that people are going to hate you. Now, when you go to your job, do people go out of their way to tell you while you're doing your job they hate you? Well, as a talk show host, that's what I get. And most talk show hosts get this. But because I'm in a red state, there are a lot of people that love to bitch and complain who are right-wing conservatives. And look, conservatives love listening to me. So do liberals. We've got a very, very diverse audience. And everybody has a voice. But my show in particular has a variety of views. And I think a lot of people tune in to hate me every day. So you have to be pretty secure with yourself and not worry about that. Here's a comment from Robert says, "Hey Scoot, have been listening to your show since the days of WRNO. Wow, yeah, the old Rock of New Orleans days with Captain Humble and the rest of the crew." Robert, thank you. It's an honor to have so many people, still tuning in and still listening. Elizabeth says, and the callers sometimes, the foolishness they spew makes my day. Yes, they're entertaining. Many of the callers are very entertaining. But I really have to be content with the idea that people hate me. And I really am. And I don't know where that really started. I'll tell you, I kind of do remember. And this is part of the truth behind the microphone. And I guess it was about 1985, and I was on B97. So I'm doing music radio. But even doing music radio, there were people who hated me. Not everybody's going to love you. And I don't know, maybe some people were jealous. And so they hated me as a result of that, because I really wasn't giving big political opinions on the air. But, some people hated me then. Well, it occurred to me that 49% of this country can hate you, and you could still become president of the United States. If it all works out with the electoral college vote. But I also thought about it at the time, in 85. I thought about Michael Jackson and Bruce Springsteen. And I thought to myself, as big as Michael Jackson is, some people hate him. As big as Bruce Springsteen is, not everybody likes him. And some people hate him. So I thought, cool. It's okay to be hated by some people. And that's the truth about talk radio and what I do. There are people who hate my opinions. There are people who hate me for expressing those opinions. And there are people who think that I should be objective. But they support Limbaugh and Hannity, who are very opinionated. So in theory, the people who hate me for my opinions and don't think I should be expressing these opinions on the air, all hypocrites. Because in theory, they support somebody being on the radio that is very strongly opinionated. So, again, I guess, that's just part of it. Sometimes I'll get texts from people who say, yeah, you suck in that. But sometimes they'll say, I hate you. I hate what you do. I hate the way you do the show. And sometimes I text them back and I say, look, I don't know what you do for a living, but chances are not everybody likes you. Because regardless of the business that you're in, there are people you work with and there are customers that don't like you and they don't like what you do. But if what you do is successful, if what you do is working, then screw the people who don't like you. It's okay to not be liked by everybody. In fact, with what I do, this is almost the case with everything. If you're not doing things that cause some people to hate you, then you're not taking a position. Then you don't stand for anything. Because especially today, people are going to hate you. And that's okay. Think about the people that hate Nike. Nike's doing great. Nike doesn't want everybody to like them. That's why they'll take a stance and they'll back Colin Kaepernick or some controversial athlete. Nike doesn't care if you hate them because they're catering to people who are going to applaud what they're doing and buy their stuff. And a lot of people who say, well, I'll never buy Nike again. And I've dealt with this on my radio show. A lot of people who say, well, I'll never buy Nike again. That's okay. Not everybody buys Nike. Not everybody listens to my radio show. Not everybody, regardless of what you do, not everybody likes you. Because if you're in a business, you don't have 100% of the market. There are customers that go to other companies and they don't like the way you do it. If you're in sales, there are people who don't buy from you. They don't like you. That's okay. I mean, I hope you're content with that reality, because that is reality. Let's see. Elizabeth says, it does work. What you do, if you enjoy, keep it up. Keep on. I love what I do. And I really think it's kind of weird that I'm okay that there are some people who hate me. But it just means I'm doing my job. And I find satisfaction in the idea that regardless of what you do, what anybody does, there are people who don't like you. From salesperson to religious leaders to talk show hosts, whatever. I'm not really threatened by these comments like, well, I'm never listening to you again. Well, then don't. I mean, I'm not going to change the show because of a couple of comments that people make. I've been doing this for 50 years. And so I've evolved over the years from music radio to talk radio, tried to reinvent myself, even doing talk radio. The show is always evolving and always changing, and I'm proud of that. Some people just find a niche and they stay there and they don't ever change, they don't ever move. Man, that's not me. If you've been listening to me over the years, you know how I have changed and adopted to changing times. Debbie says, instead of being envious, they're jealous. It's really a compliment. Well, it is true. And I can tell by some of the comments that I get that people are just, they're jealous of me. And I can't control that. I just do the best I can with my life. I try not to, take myself too seriously. And I try to be humble in what I do. I've admitted the problems, the rough times that I've gone through in life with you. I've talked about that a lot. So I expose my flaws. When I say I'm a germaphobe, long before this pandemic started, I wasn't bragging. I mean, it's kind of a character flaw. I mean, it's best if you're not a germaphobe. Well, now it's okay to be a germaphobe. Here's a comment from Tina. Love your morning show on B97. So glad I found your show again. Well, thank you. I'm not doing the same show that I did then, but you know what? If I was doing the same show then, you wouldn't like me. You wouldn't like me today because it would be, you would be different. Society would be different. Think about the bands that they don't change. It's the same sound. Eventually, you move on. If they don't evolve and don't progress, you move on and you don't pay attention to them anymore. The bands that evolve and are constantly doing something new and updating their sound and embracing change and being different, those are the bands, those are the artists that are really, really successful. It's the same with talk radio. Let's see. Glenda says, I've been listening for 50. Oh, wow. I've been listening for 50 years. You listen when I would go, you listen when I would go off. You are fair and admit your humanity. You rock. Scoot in the morning, night, noon and night. Hey, thank you very much for that, Glenda. Yeah, I do admit my flaws. There's if you think about this, it's very true. There's nothing that entertaining about perfection. That's not entertaining. Entertainment comes from imperfection. And so in tonight's episode of The Truth Behind the Microphone, I just wanted to share with you the reality that I live with, that there are people who hate me. I think there are people who tune in every day because it gives them a sense of pleasure to listen to me. And whether they call, text, or just in their mind while they're listening to me, they're disagreeing with me and they're saying to the radio, I hate you. You are so stupid. You are so ignorant. I can't believe you have that opinion. I think that people that tune in for that purpose, because in their minds it's somewhat mentally combative. And I think they enjoy that. I'm okay with that. But just remember this, regardless of what you do, everybody doesn't have to like you. I mean, think about this. As popular as Drew Brees is, not everybody likes him. Some people are not a fan. As great as he is, some people are not a fan. So, if people don't like you in the office, or if you're a salesperson and people don't buy from you, you can't get everybody to like you. So what? Do your thing. Listen to that voice inside of you, that voice that only you hear, the voice that's telling you who you should be and who you really are. Follow that voice and screw everybody else. Now, when you get good advice from somebody, follow that advice. But if people don't like you in life and what you do, man, that's okay. Chances are, if people don't like you, you're doing the right thing. And sometimes people won't like you because you're good and because you're successful. I'm Scoot. Thanks for being with me here. I hope you become a subscriber. It's free, and we give you an alert every time we go live and do something like this. Join me on Instagram and Facebook, Scoot on the Air. Tomorrow, we'll have another stimulating question, and then I'll have something fresh about politics or pop culture added to my website, Scoot on the Air. And that's where you can find the coffee mugs. And I posted on my Facebook page an interview that I had with Joe Bouchard, one of the founding members of the band Blue Oyster Cult. He's out with new music, had a great conversation with him, not only about his new music, but about Blue Oyster Cult. And I really had a great conversation with the guy. And he talked about how much he enjoyed playing at the Warehouse and how much he enjoyed red beans and rice. And so it was a fun conversation. That's on my Facebook page, Scoot on the Air. I love you guys, and thanks for being with me tonight. Join me tomorrow afternoon from 1 to 4, New Orleans time, on WWL Radio. And you can always stream the show by going to the App Store, download radio.com, and type in WWL. Have a great evening.